Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Matt, and I am excited for today's training. We're going to be diving into what are the shenanigans that are going on in today's market. And I really want to dive into that. But first, before we do, I just want to take a quick moment and acknowledge you for continuing to show up for these trainings, really trying to make a difference in your life, make a difference in your business. And I know how hard it is with kids, jobs, other hobbies. It's really hard to focus in today's world with all the distractions that there are. So thank you for spending time with me, and I hopefully you're getting a lot out of each one of these trainings. And if there's anything more that you want or topics that we haven't covered, feel free to reach out and let me know so that we can do those, because I'm here to serve you and hopefully be able to provide you some information that you've been lacking in other places or desperately trying to get your hands on so that you can continue to grow in your business online and hopefully reach whatever goals that you have set for yourself. So what I want to get into today is 3 different areas where I feel the game is purposely rigged against new people. In some instances, I think it might be unethical at best. At the worst, I think some of these actions are criminal. You see that a lot in the traffic space. People are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for these traffic solo ads and clicks, and they're getting nothing but bots and scripts and just totally junk traffic. And in my opinion, that is actually a criminal act. Not my place to say, but any of you that might have ordered a solo ad or bought any traffic in the recent past would probably parrot that statement. But there's 3 different areas where I feel like these scams and these shenanigans are happening right now. And so I want to share those with you, and I also want to show you how to protect yourself and then maybe how to be able to capitalize on that and go forward. All right? So the first one, in my opinion, is traffic. Any of you, like I just mentioned, who have bought traffic in the most recent past, especially in the last couple of years from these resellers, brokers, solo ad sellers, the quality of this traffic has gone downhill dramatically. My mentor had recently done a real in-depth study on the different traffic sources out there and, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on traffic testing these sources. And he found that over 90% of the traffic sources that he tested online were providing bunk traffic. And when I say bunk traffic, what do I mean? Well, when you're placing these solo ad orders, what you're getting instead of an actual human being clicking on your link, seeing your landing page, seeing your offer, and then making a decision whether to opt in or purchase, which is typically what you're expecting when you're making these purchases, what you're getting is people sending these links and having computer-generated clicks, which would be bots, clicking these links, and then cycling through these landing pages and then putting in these, emails that they're buying from these massive lists. Data's a big thing. You can find that stuff all over the internet. You can buy these, lists of hundreds of thousands of email addresses. Don't do that if you do find those, because they're totally stepped on and they're a waste of your money. But what these traffic resellers are doing is buying these lists, uploading these emails into their system, and then they run scripts, bots. Lead stuffing is another term for this, and what they do is they take your link, they run it through their software, it opens it, shows you have a click. Some of them, put in these bunk emails, and then it looks like you have an opt-in, but nobody opens your emails, and nobody buys your product, so that kind of thing. So, there's a history to this, and there's a reason why this has come up. The internet marketing space has exploded in the last 10 to 15 years. As most of us, the internet has not been around forever, especially as millennials. The information age is only about 25 years old. So, there was a day before the internet and before Facebook when, you had to do your business offline. And in the early days, this solo ads really were what a lot of people built their business on. If they got into the space, they didn't have a list, they would use other people's lists, they'd run ads, they'd run emails to other people's lists, they'd get people on their list, they'd create a relationship, and then they'd sell to them there. And most of the gurus that you see that are leading the charge in a lot of educational spaces now, info products, that's how they did it. Right? And the game has changed tremendously, and they're telling people to go and buy these solo ads and use other people's lists to be able to get their own brand up and going. But the problem is what people are purchasing are not real human beings. They're not real visitors, right? They're these computer-generated scripts. So that process is not necessarily working. Now, what I do want to say is that like going back to, there's about 90% of what you see out there is total garbage, and I wouldn't waste my money on. I have anywhere between 3 to 5 sources that I truly trust, that I know that I've tested and I've used in my own business, that have absolutely killer returns. Now, I'm talking about opt-ins as high as 50, 60, 70%. I know that for some of you, you're going to think that's totally crazy, but I have a few traffic sources that actually guarantee that, or they'll keep running traffic until you get it. And I'm talking real human beings here. And you're also seeing sales, and you're seeing a relationship, because the people are real and they're reading your emails on the backside. So there are a few trusted sources out there still, but I would say for the most part, you're really running a dangerous game when you try to go out and do that. And I understand the plight of the new person getting in the game, because traffic in a lot of its other forms is very, very difficult and very expensive. If you want to get into Google AdWords, Facebook, do your own email drops, that takes a lot of time, a lot of money, and they're very difficult. And for any of you that are in the biz ops space, which I know a lot of you watching this video probably are, those platforms are not very friendly to make money online, online business opportunity type ads or campaigns. So not only is it difficult to learn, but even if you get some stuff put in place, 9 times out of 10 on Facebook or Google AdWords, if you're not following the strictest of guidelines, they're going to totally just disapprove your ad, and all that work is out the window. So I would say for the new person getting started, it is harder than it was, but it's still possible. And, I have a couple of those traffic sources that I'm happy to share. Actually, in tomorrow's video, we're going to go into some of the details on how to get your business started, and I can share some of that then. But I really want you to look out for these fake traffic sources that are charging you, 50, 60, 70 cents a click, getting third world country clicks, not even human clicks, not English speaking clicks, and really just running you, just taking your money and running. So watch out for that. Okay, item number 2 on our list about how the game is rigged against you is actually about sales and conversions. What I see kind of rampant through the industry is people who are getting started as affiliate marketers, or possibly in direct sales or direct marketing organizations and companies, is that the narrative or the business plan for these companies to share with their new people is just get people to your link. Get people to your link. What's your job? Get people to your link. What's your job? Get people to your link. And I know that's obnoxious, even me saying it repeatedly, but that's really what the trainings are about. And the God's honest truth is that just doesn't work. There's too much noise in the internet these days. That might have worked in the past, like we were just discussing in the early days of the internet and the make money online boom or movement. That did work. That was back when you didn't have 500 emails in your inbox before 10 a.m. That was the game plan, again, about how these people who are gurus or these leaders or these teachers, that's how they built their business, and they don't know any differently. And that's where the gap and the disconnect is from the people who started 10 or 15, 20 years ago and people who are getting started now. And the shift is changed to becoming more of just like a traditional business model. And, my mentor shared with me once that everything that works offline is the only thing that works online. And that really settled with me. It took some time, but once it did, it made a lot of sense. Because the struggles I was having early on was following this doctrine of like, just get people to your link, and like myself and like maybe like you were experiencing, buying this, what I thought was good traffic, but it's garbage traffic. I'm sending it to my link. I get a conversion of 1 to 3%, which nowadays is about 1% because of the increased volume and total pushiness of the internet space, and nobody's buying anything. And if they do buy on some off chance, the amount that costs to buy the traffic doesn't come back on the back end because the conversion rate is so low. So this is why I really do think that the failure rate is so high for people getting started online, is because that's what people are teaching. That's the business model. That's the game plan. and it just doesn't work. Just the same way as it wouldn't work offline. If you were trying to get somebody to buy something, I come from a real estate background. If I got somebody's name and address and they were interested in selling their property, the way to get them to sign a listing agreement is not go to their house every day and ring their doorbell. But a lot of you and myself, when I started, and a lot of people were struggling, what are they doing? They're getting their name on a list and they're emailing them once, twice, 3, 5 times a day. I was on a guy's list that I got something from him like 5 times a day. And it was just buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Go to my link, go to my link, go to my link. So that is what I really feel is probably the number one thing that is really set people up for failure in this business is the mistruth about how to get sales and conversions in this industry. And so the way to protect yourself is just don't do that. Honestly, it's doing more harm than good. A lot of people, when they get started in this business, they don't even have the money for traffic. So what do? They turn their social media into a pitch fest. So the only other way they have the only outlet to the world that they have, if they can't afford solo ad traffic or they're not experienced enough to do a pay-per-click campaign, is they have to go into Facebook and they're spamming their wall, their friends' walls, their groups, their fan pages, and it's just a mess. And honestly, you're doing more harm for your business than good. So the way to protect yourself against this, just complete, I don't know, I don't want to use really too harsh a language because I know a lot of people out there are really taking to this kind of thing, but the way that this is rigged against you is just to stop doing it. That's the way to protect yourself. And then the way to profit from that is you need to have a new strategy. And the strategy is being able to identify who your ideal prospect is. And then once you have them identified, look for what their needs are in whatever niche they're in, right? So if they're a golfer, know what kind of age range, their income, their background, their family status, that kind of thing, because those are the type of ways that you can identify people online. That's one of the cool parts about marketing online is that kind of that narrow, laser focused targeting aspect that you don't have in maybe direct mail or mass media. But so you'll be able to identify that, and then you craft a message that meets their needs. So if somebody's a golfer, maybe learning how to reduce their score by 5 points with these 5 simple tricks, or how to manage a bad putting day, whatever it could be. Those are really bad excuses off the top of my head, or examples off the top of my head. But what you do is you identify your prospect, and then you craft a message that helps meet their needs. And then once you've done that, then you've created a relationship, and they are happy and willing to buy products and services that will help meet those needs. And that is a complete antithesis of the whole get them to the link, get them to the link, get them to the link. So that practice is really how I built my business, and it increases just my joy in life, helping other people, and then also increases my business tenfold, and I separate myself from the pack. So that is really the way to profit from that. So if the lie that is being told to you is this is your business strategy, just pump people to this link, pump people to this link, that strategy only helps the business. It does not help the affiliate. Right? And the way to protect yourself from that is just don't do it anymore. Just any kind of strategy like that, traffic or conversion strategy that's based on that philosophy, stop doing it. And the way to profit from it is see that the rest of the marketplace is taking that approach, and set yourself apart by being an authority and somebody that can help people with their problems, and then create your strategy, your marketing strategy around that. And that's something we're going to get into in a much deeper sense as we go through these trainings, and speak more about tomorrow about how I really got that light bulb to go off, and then how I can translate that philosophy into a modern age and use the internet to propel that message to a very big group of people. All right. And lastly today, the third piece that I want to cover here with how the game is rigged against new people is really around the concept of education. This comes in a really close second to traffic about some of the unethical practices that might even stem all the way to criminal practices with what people are charging for these education programs and what they're giving back. To tell you a quick little story, when I first got started in this industry, again, it was with a network marketing company, and I went all in and bought all these products that were supposed to help me learn the business. And I can tell you right now, when I first started online in pretty much my entire life, I've never been a network marketer. It just didn't appeal to me, but I wanted to learn how to make money online because I saw the immensity of the leverage there and the amount of money that you can make on a small amount of effort if you can really do it well. So I got into it through there, and so I was looking for the education, not necessarily the opportunity, and so I went and bought all the products. And when I went through these products, I'm college educated, come from a pretty professional background, and my jaw dropped. I mean, it was just, there was no congruency to anything. The trainings were all over the place. They were poorly done. I remember one I was watching on Solo Ads, and the person that was doing the training was like in a hotel room or something, and the fire alarm went off, and he told the camera that he had to leave the room because of the fire alarm. He left, and there was like dead air for 15 minutes. Nobody even cared to even cut that out. So I had spent $5,000 on this education, and I was just outraged. I was so upset. And that is that's a really extreme example. But at the same time, I think we've probably all bought information products anywhere between $19.99 up to spending $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 on some of these masterminds that are just mainly fluff and a lot of mindset and doesn't have a lot of teeth to it. So the way to protect yourself is really do your homework and create a relationship with the person that you're going to use as a consultant, as a teacher, or enroll in that education program. Testimonials are good. They're not necessarily the best source of information because sometimes those are kind of incentivized. But do your homework, and that's a good way to protect yourself. Talk to other people in the space. The internet is big, but as you get involved in this niche, it's not that big. The internet is obviously huge, but when you get into specific niches, they're not necessarily that big. So connect with other people in that industry that might have taken that coaching, that consulting, or that education program, and do your homework before you shell out that money. And then the way to profit from that is once you find some education that you found is really out of this world, that's really helped you. You can go, and a lot of times there's affiliate programs for that. So if you're looking for something to sell, I know a lot of people, that's a struggle for them. When they get online, they just want to make money, but they don't even have a product that they are in love with. So if you can find a product that, or an education or consulting program that you found was really, really helpful, then you can go ahead and, now you can speak with some authority, and you can speak with some, experience with that, and people are dying for that. Like we talked about, there's information everywhere, but people are dying for wisdom. And if you find that diamond in the rough per se, people are really, really looking for that. And again, you can turn that into a business. You can turn that into a stream of income. So that's really what I would use is, be careful with the education in this space. It can be extremely overpriced and extremely underwhelming. So that is a way that I think this game is rigged against a lot of new people, because it's absolutely necessary, especially if you don't have an internet marketing background. You need to get education, you need to get accountability, and you need to get support. And the way to protect yourself from the frauds is to make sure you do your due diligence and reach out to people who may have taken it, and make sure they have a refund policy. I don't think I mentioned that before. And if you get into that training and it's just not working, make sure you exercise that. And the best way to profit from it is, once you've got it, if it worked for you, take those things that you learned, use those things, and then turn around and, become an affiliate of that program and really help other people. So, all right, guys, today was a long day. There was a lot to get through, but I think I wanted to just talk straight with you. I know you've been spending a lot of time here in the last couple of days going over these trainings and really interacting with me, and so I really wanted to give you just kind of a fireside chat, coffee clutch kind of conversation about this. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave your comments below this video. Email me if you have any feedback that you'd like to hear. or you want to share, and we'll talk more in the future. All right. Best of luck. If I can help you, please let me know. I'm here to serve. Good luck with your marketing and make it a profitable day. All right. Take care.